Well, hello. This is for my new YouTube friend. I'm still not comfortable enough to put my face on the YouTube. Doing my walk time. I promised you I talked to you about, I believe the question was internet, and how would you feel, or what do you think about people, watching over the internet? I liked your answers because you had something to say about it, an opinion. And an opinion is better than people just saying what, people want somebody to hear. My question to you is this. I recall you saying something about if somebody died, or, I don't want to see that, or things like that. But you were into the Coney thing. Well, what if, take a seat here on the steps of Radio Bureau. What if there was, all you do is get a view of the cars. I'm in the city. I live in Philadelphia. I'm going to try to turn the phone around, but I don't know if you're going to see anything. Ooh, it's bright right in my eye. What if there was a problem with something in society that mainstream news wasn't telling you? Wouldn't you want to know? And that's what my question is to you, is that's what internet has been helping people do all the time now. When I went to the Ron Paul rally the other day, my local news never put it on that he was actually coming. And actually, the local news said that Ron Paul, he's running for the Republican candidate to run against Barack Obama for president. And by all the news standards, Ron Paul either is not even spoken about, it's as if he doesn't exist, or they say that he's just kind of showing up, but he's not very important. So, if you go by what's called mainstream media, which is CNN, Fox, your local news that you see, and things like that, if you think, can you believe them? And it was up until 5 years, I thought I could believe them too. Can you believe everything you hear, kind of thing. And I've realized that you can't. I made some videos for you for that day. Having trouble posting them for you because we heard nothing about it. Unfortunately, it's my phone's been giving me a lot of gab. But the one thing about the internet that is a beautiful thing is that, like McDonald's. Who doesn't love McDonald's? As a child, I loved to eat McDonald's. But with McDonald's, okay, with the internet, with the news, they will never tell you what's really in McDonald's. I can show you that there have been tests on that if you leave out a McDonald's cheeseburger and fries for 3 years, they don't change. Now, any type of regular food that you leave out, it's supposed to get old and soggy, and animals eat it. But it doesn't. And that's the magic of the internet. Of course, with any type of news, you have to look at your sources, because everybody has a reason to, the mainstream media is putting out their information to try to push you a certain way. And secondary media is doing their thing to try to push you a certain way. But you have to see which way they're trying to push you. Are they trying to push you in a certain way to free your mind? Are they trying to push you in a certain way to make you storm against the government in a negative way or in a positive way? And these are things that are very important. I've been what they call mentally liberated for the last 5 years. My mother's just starting to open her eyes in the last year, and that's due to food. Because as I said before, I have an illness called Lyme's disease. This is another perfect example. Via mainstream media, which you watch on the news and things like that, Lyme's disease does not exist. But if you watch on secondary media, it does exist. Chronic Lyme's does exist. And I'll tell you the truth that it does exist because I've been out of work for 3 years. And I've been fighting it tooth and nail. I've been in a lot of pain. And I've been dealing with it. It's been one of the hardest fights of my entire life. It's the hardest fight of my life. But that's another thing where you have to understand and be careful when you say, if somebody says something against the government or says something against a government, you know, like the CDC, something against the government's, a center of the government or an arm of the government, then it must be bad. That's when you start to get into dangerous territory, because not all things of the government are always good, because the people are the government, honey. And you have to remember that. Remember, that's when I asked you a long time ago, do you think history is important? And it is, because we, the people, started the government. We, the people, are the government. And when we, the people, are no longer in charge of the government, in charge of getting the correct people into the government to represent us, to help us, and it's now just people with money and corporations, we lose out. People who are sick lose out. People without jobs and stuff like that. It may seem a little too deep, but you're very smart. And again, as I said, don't ever hesitate to ask me questions. You can always find me on my Facebook, and you can also find me on YouTube. But you're young, you have a long way to go, but don't let anybody ever tell you how to think or how to feel. That's the wonders of being an American. Don't ever let anybody tell you how to think or how to feel. And if something doesn't look right or sounds wrong, normally it is. So let's finish this, what I call my walk time. And by the way, smoking is bad for your health. You think, I have a health problem, so why am I smoking? Well, I'll tell you one thing. That is because, see, are they growing anything? No. That's because I'm addicted. And I've been trying to quit for quite a time now. I'm working on it. I don't drink. I don't do anything else, though. That's my last hurrah. That's my last hurrah. I live in a nice, beautiful area of the city, though. And this is a place that I'm trying to keep free. We work very hard to keep it free. In fact, here's a place right here. This is Media Bureau. right up here. Media Bureau Studios. I played a movie all about Lyme's disease because nobody knew anything about it. Because nobody talks about it. Because it's hush-hush. And it's very difficult. But I'm going to finish this and I'll talk to you soon, sweetie. Bye-bye.